Do you hear me, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And I'm starting to share my screen. And this time I've made a presentation. So, yeah, thank you, Sylvia. So, this is the first time I analyzed actually something from Kaggle because I don't like analyzing American data. We had some issues. And this time I used PKI. Actually, to be honest, I don't really like machine learning part. So when LDS presented us an automated tool that does everything for us, I took it. So, and so speaking about my dataset, just to tell you, if you have some questions or something, you can just interrupt me in the middle. It's gonna be a nice discussion. So my dataset is coming from Kaggle, and it's about world university rankings. So when I was studying in my university, which is regional university in Russia, it really did try to go up in that ranking in exactly this rating. So they really tried a lot to trick some numbers and to do something to go up to make more money, and they didn't really succeed. So I was really interested in how universities around the world go up in the university rankings. And as information you see here that I have numbers of slides is going to be only 14 slides, I promise. So it's going to be fast. And so yeah, today I analyzed data from British agency. There are three agencies in the world, and I analyzed one from a British agency from 2011 to 2019, I think. So take a look at my dataset. Here we have 14 columns and 2000 entries. I didn't get 15 columns, I'm sorry, as you specified, Elias. And we have university name, world rank, country, and some parameters like how international it is, how much research into stations, total score, number of students, and a male to female ratio, which is, I think, very interesting. And I went to PKI and I tried to install it, and I'm very surprised actually that almost everyone could install it so easily. Because Marie, no, not easily. Okay, no, okay, but you managed to install it. I passed like 3 hours, and knowing that we had only like 12 hours on that project, it took me a lot of time to try to install it and to fail. Do you remember my thing from Slack today? So I failed to install it, and I used an online collaboration tool, which is called Cocalc. So you can just load your Jupyter notebook and you can work with all libraries pre-installed. Actually, there's a lot of solutions like that on the market. The most important one, I think, we spoke with Elias, is Google Colab, but I clicked on the first result in Google, which was sponsored. So here you can see that half of the screen of Cocalc is actually headers and starting and free trial, and 40% is actual notebook. So it was funny, but still I enjoyed it, and PKI finally worked. So what I tried to predict in that project with regression was female to male ratio. How equal is the university based on all the ranking and all other parameters that this government agency is calculating. And so here I did everything in one line, hopefully, because PKI is one liner. And here you can see that my label column is female to male ratio. And here you can see that everything is numeric because it counted by this agency. And my best model is extra trees regressor. Sounds very nice. I have no idea what is that, but sounds extra trees. It's like and I have R2, which is kind of nice, which is 61, and other very important parameters that I don't really remember what it means. And I plotted feature selection on my model. I made a model of extra trees, and here you can see what is important when we trying to predict female to male ratio. And the biggest predictor of that is the number of students. interestingly. So if you have a big number of students, I think it tells that you have more equal university, and the same goes with international universities. And speaking about teaching and research, it's a very bad predictor of equality. So if university is very innovative and making a lot of nice research and wisdom of the humanity, it will not determine a lot how equal it is. So I decided to drop, after my feature selection, those two columns, teaching and research, and I narrowed that to only 5 columns to make my model better. So here I drop teaching and research and still going for regression. And that's my model after feature selection. I know that actually pCARE can do feature selection automatically without even me, but well, I decided to go manually. And so here, CatBoost Regressor performs the best in terms of R-squared, and I have 64. So if you compare before to after feature selection, I have 3% up in, please show itself. I have 3% up of R-squared. I know that we're not supposed to compare models by R-squared, only by squared, but here is the best amelioration. And I also tried to tune both models, XR-trees in the first example and CatBoost, but every time I tried to tune them, it actually gave me worse results. So it didn't really work. And it wouldn't be me if I will not use these strange programs that I'm telling you every time, and Etienne is telling me that apparently I sponsor them for money. So for clustering, I used my super nice tool Exploratory without touching a Python, and that's very interesting results that I got here. So automatically, it's made the 3 clusters, and those 3 clusters are very different from each other. So I really want to present to them. So first, green cluster. Here you can see the axis, research, teaching, basically my columns. And the first cluster is very big universities. There are a lot of in US, but here we have mostly like BRICS countries. There are a lot of Brazil, China, Mexico, and Egypt. So very big universities are in green cluster. We have teaching, research, and citation universities. So it's like a wisdom of the earth. And well, if you see the little pointer and if you see what's written, it's all in US. All the universities that are like very highly rated on teaching and research stations are in the United States. So all the blue cluster is mostly of that universities. And we have very international universities. And they're mostly UK ones. So hi, Sylvia. And there are a lot of Swiss universities, Netherlands, so mostly European universities. So orange cluster is made of European universities, Australian also. So very nice classification. And I also wanted to quickly show you another thing. So I made a correlation matrix, and I never seen that in Python. That is the correlation matrix with every data point in every column. I really enjoyed doing that. So you can see like every single data point, every single thing, and you can compare the distribution of every value in every column by every column. Kind of interesting thing. So speaking about my presentation, just a quick recap. What I did analysis of world university rankings. I did it with pCARE, and I managed with feature selection to obtain a 3% up in R-squared. And I did very nice clustering of 3 clusters of different universities. And speaking about learnings, I learned that pCARE is very complicated to install, but very easy to use. A lot of errors. I learned that Cocalc, the solution that I used on cloud, is sad, and I will not use it anymore. I also installed DF profile report, It's a nice library that can do you a profile report of every column by every column, which was really nice. And I also tried Jupyter Labs, which is very nice to use when you have several notebooks, which I didn't have, but you have several data sets, so you can actually see every CSV file there. So my project was mostly about discovering new programs, infrastructure, then to make a super nice model and prediction. And if I was about to start from scratch, I would make every machine learning project in PKI because it's fast, and I like when it's fast. So I thank you a lot for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I looking forward for your questions.
Questions, comments, suggestions?
So how much do you get paid for sponsoring Exploratory?
I think we need to ask Etienne because he was the only one who suggested that. Here he is.
I like the clustering part, how everything was so well disaggregated. It's good when you see in 2 dimensions. That's why you use the PCA, and it works really well when you see in 2 dimensions. The PCA was also done in Exploratory. You're muted.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, PCA was also done in Exploratory, and I just didn't make anything. It's like just
It did it for you.
But I liked it a lot. I also liked a lot Access, like how it did Access and how it correlated after Access. I don't know how to say that. Very nice work.
Any other question?
Is it free?
Yes, it is actually. Well, actually, you can do
Partially.
the same thing in Tableau, I think.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's just very well combined in one product that I like. But even maybe Alteryx can do the same, so it's very basic. But yeah, the thing is free and it's very little. It's like 20s in a list of Tableau, Power BI, and after it goes for Alteryx.
Anything else?